We are ready to go.
Good, all right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, December 28, 2021 Urbandale City Council meeting. I will call the meeting to order, and I'll ask the clerk to take roll call, please.
Carberry Montgomery. Here. Pogge.
Here.
Blake.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
All right. And as you can hear, we have two of our council members remotely tonight, so we'll be taking all our votes by roll call tonight. And if you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance as you're able. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Urbandale is a national leader in character counts, endeavoring at all times to promote and model the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting tonight's meeting, we expect that all participants will act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Item 2 is to approve the agenda. I'll ask for a motion in a second.
So moved.
By Pogge,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge.
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery.
Yes.
Blake.
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Item 3 is the oath of office. We are going to administer the oath of office to myself as mayor and also to our new council members, Amy Ostrander-Croll and Larry McBurney. And I'm going to start us off. I'm going to recognize Judge Rob Blank to come up and swear me in the oath of office. I, Robert D. Andeweg,
of the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties
of
the office of mayor of the city of Urbandale
the office of mayor of the city of Urbandale,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations.
Larry, you're next.
I, Lawrence McBurney,
I, Lawrence McBurney,
of the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
for the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of council member of the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
discharge all the duties as a member of the City Council of Urbandale, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations.
Now, Amy.
Please raise your right hand. I, Amy Croll, the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
I, Amy Croll, of the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the state of Iowa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability,
and I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of council member of the city of Urbandale, Iowa,
discharge all of my duties as a council member of the Urbandale City of Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Congratulations.
All right, well, thank you for everyone attending here tonight for that, and all the friends and family here tonight, and thank you for indulging us for this as we impart the oath of office. We will now move on to Citizens Forum. This is the opportunity to address the council on something that's not a part of tonight's regular agenda. Is there anyone who would like to address the council at this time? Okay, seeing none, then we will move on. Item 5 is the adoption of minutes. First is the minutes from the December 14, 2021 meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Pogge,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
I have a feeling I'm missing your two names a lot tonight. Item 6 is the consent agenda. There are 10 items for approval.
Move approval.
Motion by Pogge,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
All right, thank you. We move on to our public hearings. First is the public hearing for the Aurora Business Park Amendment to the Special Sign District Master Plan. The public notice for this was published in the December 17, 2021 Des Moines Register. Ask the clerk for the objections to that notice is published.
there were none.
Ask for a motion, a second open public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Thank you.
And to introduce the items, our Chief Planner, Christy Bales. Christy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The first public hearing on tonight is an amendment to the Special Sign District Master Plan for the Aurora Business Park. The Aurora Business Park did a special sign district back in 2015, and the R&R Development Group has approached the city on amending that to add some additional comprehensive signage, coordinated signage amongst the Aurora Business Park. So in general, they're going to focus on the area on 114th Street and Aurora Avenue. Those one-story buildings, same type of architecture, that sort of thing. It's in our M2 zoning district, so we're treating it with a special sign district versus like amending new PUD master plan or something like that. The R&R Realty Group has approached the city to have a set of 3 entrance signs, one here at the south side of 114th, one at the north, and then one here at Aurora and 109th, as well as to have matching directory signs, essentially one on each parcel, and then have some building number identification that's all coordinated and matching. So, excuse me. This is that aerial, their concept plan of where they would have those signs located throughout the project area. And then I'm going to show you what those will look like. As we scroll backwards here. This would be the monument signs, and this is what they would look like at night, essentially. They would have a brick base, fabricated letters so that the light passes through and you can see around them at night. Staff is recommending approval of that sign package. Jeremy Shepard and Adam Caduce are both here representing R&R Realty tonight. I'll take any questions you may have first, but they're here as well.
Thank you, Christie. Any questions from the council for Christie on this item? All right, we are in public hearing on this item. Was there anyone in the council, in the chambers that would like to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion in a second to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Pogge,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there a motion on the item?
I move approval of Council Letter 6919.
Okay, motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, please vote, or roll call, please.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that item passes. Item 7.2 is a consider a public hearing for the Waterford Park parcels B and C amendment to the comprehensive plan and plan unit development master plan at 156th Street and Waterford Road. The public notice for this was published in the December 17, 2021. As the clerk, are there any objections to that? Notice is published.
There were none.
That's for a motion and a second to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Thank you.
Christie, back to you.
Thank you. This next public hearing has a few moving parts, so bear with me. We are at the northeast intersection of Waterford Road and 156th Street. Development, you've seen proposals recently. The Barrett Park is here on the southeast corner. Our Waterford Park is on the southwest corner. Development is very much underway with the different subdivisions, Barrett's Estates, Waterford Ridge, Jordan Lee, here on the south side of Waterford. This proposal in front of you tonight is to amend the Waterford Creek PUD master plan. When the master plan was first approved, it included not only the four areas that, or the four parcels that we're going to talk about tonight, but also this area where we now have townhomes, single family detached on small lots, and some single family on large lots. The ownership group is different than the first one who did kind of the development south of this drainage way that comes here. So the new ownership has approached the city and has asked for some amendments to the PUD master plan. The best picture to start out with is this one. And so you can kind of follow that diagonal drainage way that goes through here. They're requesting the addition of an elementary school to be allowed as a permitted use on approximately 14 acres of this development. This is where the 100-foot wide, that overhead power line runs through. So a school would be located just north of that. Access off of 156th Street would be the primary, with them accessing subdivision streets that would be constructed with this project. When this area was first approved, it was essentially, in kind of round numbers, townhouses south of the electric easement, single-family detached of 60 and 70-foot wide lots north of the easement, with the predominant, or the majority, having to be those wider 70-foot wide lots. With the introduction of the school, with the changes in the market, with some desire to offer different products, the developer approached the city and asked to consider a different mix of housing just instead of the 60 and 70-foot wide lots. And so with that development proposal and the introduction of the school, the developer asked for about 13 acres shown here in blue to have the 46-foot wide lots. The area shown in yellow to have a minimum of 50-foot wide lots. The area shown in green, a minimum of 60-foot wide lots. And the area shown in red, a minimum of 70-foot wide lots. Those 70-foot wide lots were planned originally with the development, and they maintain that transition to the existing Coyote Ridge development and then transition down in lot sizes from there. So again, the 60s and 70s were approved before. Those are the green and red. And this would introduce the mix of 50 and 46-foot wide lots. All single-family development would be on public streets, all the detached. The townhomes would likely be on private streets, and those will require site plans as those are developed in our typical process. Also, the school would require its own site plan, but you can see kind of where it's planned. There would be a street that comes off 156th Street, and that would be where they would access their buses and their parent traffic and that sort of thing. The connection will be made to 152nd to the south, another connection to 156th Street with stub streets planned to the north for future connections. So staff is recommending approval of adding the school as a permitted use, as well as the introduction of the 46 and 50-foot wide lots in the configuration and acreage is shown here. Tonight, David Albright is here representing the development group. Kirk Johnson is here from the Waukee School District to answer any questions. I'll take any questions you may have first. Staff is recommending approval, subject to the notes that you saw in the staff report.
All right, thank you, Christy. Any questions for Christy from the council?
I've got a few questions. Obviously, I'm very excited about this. I'm glad to see Kirk here. And another Waukee school in Urbandale is exciting for those of us that live in Dallas County, as well as all of Urbandale. So is what you have colored, is that all phase one?
No, this isn't a phasing map. This just shows the mix of the townhome are shown in white and then the different lot sizes. The school would be part of phase one. Their timeline is essentially to start grading and construction in 2022, open up for school fall of 24. So we would see, if this was approved for the rezoning, then you would see a preliminary plat for that lot configuration, as well as a site plan for the school and the townhomes.
So what roads are going to be put in first, or have they indicated what their phasing is?
153rd Street will have to go in very early, as well as the road on the north side of the school. So that would be this, it's labeled 152nd, but it'd be 153rd and then the street that's on the north side of the school. We're having pre-application meetings next week to talk about phasing and how all of that works with the coordination.
And then the 46-foot wide lots, those aren't townhouses?
Correct. Those are standalone, single-family detached houses on individual lots and on public streets.
So it wouldn't be like the product that's a little bit south of Radiant, where those have private streets. Are those, how wide are those lots?
Those are 46-foot wide, but they're on private streets. The Radiant Point, the Radiant Point subdivision is on private streets. And after a couple of those, the direction from the council was when we have single-family detached lots, those need to be on public streets, and we've carried that forward since that decision.
Okay, I think those are all my questions right now. Again, very excited about this.
Okay. Bridget, Ron, you do anything?
No questions.
Anything further from Matt or David at this point?
No. No for me.
All right, thank you. We are in public hearing on this item. Would anyone like to address the council on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll ask for a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery, second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Then there are two action items on this item.
Let's That's a lot of pressure, Ron.
I know.
I'll move approval of Waterford Creek parcels B and C amendment to the comprehensive plan.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, please vote.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Passes.
I will move approval of Waterford Creek parcels B and C amendments to the planned unit development master plan.
Okay, motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Thank you, that item passes. All right, that concludes our public hearings. Move on to item 8, the planning and zoning items. First is item 8.1, the Urbandale Golf and Country Club concession building site plan at 4086th Street. Christine?
Very good. The site plan before you tonight is going to focus on this area of the golf course, so kind of on the western third of the golf course, west of the North Walnut Creek, if you're familiar with that area. The site plan is for the construction of a 450 square foot concession building, but it also includes a men and a women's restroom. So they're gonna replace a much smaller building and install this new one. The site plan, so bear with me, north is up in this case. The site plan will include a private water line that they need to install between the townhomes that front onto 92nd Drive. They've started those conversations and we'll get those easements in place prior to doing any work in that area. The water line will then go north, kind of stay on the west side of that creek, connect into the new building, which is shown right here, and you can see the existing cart path. They'll do a little bit of work around the building, some sidewalk cart path, a little bit of landscaping as well. Staff is recommending approval, subject to the comments listed in your staff report. The engineer for the project has the flu, and so he said he doesn't have any, he was at the P&Z, he's good with all the comments, he thought it best to stay away. I don't believe he's on the call, but we sent him the link, but he didn't have any issues with the staff report.
All right, thank you, Christie. Any questions from the council on this?
Nope. I'd move approval of Council Letter 6917.
Motion by Pogge,
I'll second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Okay, that passes, thank you. Item 8.2 is the Bentley Ridge Plat 1 preliminary plat at 170th Street and Plum Drive. Christie?
So this will be a little bit familiar. Earlier this year, and I'll turn this on first. The red lines represent sort of the concept preliminary plat. Earlier this year, the Kevin Johnson developer of Accurate Development Company petitioned the city to rezone the area that extends from 170th Street, 1 mile west to 184th Street to PUD. This project included a parcel for multifamily, a parcel for commercial, and a parcel, neighborhood commercial, and a parcel for townhomes, as well as a mix of some lot sizes 60-foot wide here towards the south, closer to the school and the development to the south, and then essentially 70-foot wide lots for the balance of the project. This property that we're going to focus on tonight are the 3 parcels, actually 4 parcels here. So not the whole project that was rezoned, but I'll reference an exhibit on why I was showing you that here in a minute. So this is Plum Drive on the north side of Radiant Elementary. Plum Drive is a public street and would be extended with this project. Conceptually, this is kind of what you saw in those red lines, but when they submitted the preliminary plat, and it's just for, those 4 parcels, I highlighted kind of the east half, if you will, of the project. They also included what they plan for street and lot layout on the western half, including the parkland. Just for reference purposes, this line, we're at the western side of the city. The municipal line runs right along here. It doesn't include this parcel to the north that's shown as vacant, and it goes clear up to 184th, which is our municipal boundary. They asked to have the parkland considered. There are two ways to calculate parkland, and they asked for the way that's based on population instead of just a standard flat 10%. So staff analyzed that and discussed kind of some construction ideas and that sort of thing. So the Parks and Rec Commission had their meeting on the 15th. Planning and Zoning had their meeting on the 20th. And with this project, we're going to plan on about a 6.3 acre park here. You can see that will be included in this plat. And in the future, when the west side develops, there's a 3.9 acre park. Part of the original proposal included some parkland in the northwest corner of this project area, but after kind of looking at the topography, the access, the plans, the future Waterford Road extension, city staff decided to turn down that parkland dedication and instead use kind of the equivalent for trail construction and that sort of thing. So we've asked for an 8-foot trail to be, we've asked for the cost estimates and that to be included in the park, and then this segment here that will connect into the back of Radiant Point, or excuse me, of Radiant Elementary on the west side of the elementary, and that sidewalk connection will be made with this project. So the preliminary plat includes 197 single-family houses, and those lots are shown here. It includes the lot for the multifamily, commercial, and townhomes. However, those won't be developed. This would just create the outlots for those, and you can see those 3 outlots are labeled here. Outlots would require, they'd have to come back and plat the outlot to make it buildable, and then do a site plan, whether it be for commercial, the townhomes, or the multifamily. This project is shown in 2 phases, and you'll see that phase line through here, with phase 1 to the north, and then phase 2 would fill in the gap kind of between their development and then the Mallard Prairie development that's going on along the south. Stormwater detention is shown on the outlots on the plat. You'll see those labeled accordingly, and you can see the lot layout here. Staff is recommending approval of the preliminary plat, subject to the comments and conditions that you see in your staff report. The Planning and Zoning Commission and the Parks and Rec Commission made their recommendations as well, and those have all been consolidated into this project. Dean Roger is here from CDA. Jared Johnson is here representing Accurate. I'll take any questions you may have first, and they can field any that I can't.
Okay.
Christy, could you scroll this picture up a little bit? So currently there's not pedestrian access, I don't think, from the school to Plum Drive. I mean, that's where I think preschool or bus drive is. What sort of pedestrian access will that require any changes to this sidewalk or anything at the school? I mean, that's, I guess, with the building of this new school to the east, I think that Radiant will now become more of a neighborhood school for the kids that are west, the western part of Urbandale. So I want to make sure that, and I know you do too, but the pedestrian access is safe and friendly. So, and if phase 1 doesn't have the trail access that looked like it was in phase 2, what sort of access will there be for walkers?
Sure, good question. So let me start with the aerial, because I think it's kind of helpful to know what do we have so far. So on the Radiant Elementary site, you can see the sidewalk has been poured along Plum. Those sidewalk connections are extended to 170th, but they don't go anywhere yet and won't until 170th is widened and reconstructed. And then they did construct that connection to the west here. The 12-foot is actually their fire access road. Clearly it serves as a sidewalk too, but that's why it's kind of wider than normal going around the school. So this development will include 5-foot sidewalks that continue on both sides of the public street. So it'll tie into Plum Drive and continue on throughout the development. And then that sidewalk connection on the back side of Radiant Elementary will come in right here. You can kind of see the outlot V and that sort of thing. One of the conditions, and you'll see it in section 1, that we put in there was if the phasing line is the future plating line, we wanted all of outlot W, all of that park in phase 1, because the Parks Department staff is asking that an 8-foot trail be designed, and if there are funds, based on the matching requirement or based on the contribution requirements, that actually be connected through outlet W, and the phasing awkwardly breaks like the parkland dedication and the trail if it were constructed. So one of our comments is if the phase line is the plat line, we want all of outlet W to come in phase 1.
So does outlot W, so outlot V is just the portion from Street A to the back of the elementary school?
Yes.
Okay, so the other port trail connection is included in outlot W?
Outlet W will be one section of trail, and then there will be another trail connection in outlet V. There will be a trail that bisects the park.
Okay.
Kind of through here.
So going back though, pedestrians will be able, from the phase 1, will be able to sidewalk into along Plum Drive and into those large sidewalks.
Yeah, and it's a good question. As you're asking that, we put outlet W to go in phase 2, but we did not talk about outlet V, or go to in phase 1, but we did not talk about outlet V going in phase 1. So,
well, I'm a planner.
Hey, I appreciate that. We may want to ask Dean to come up and see if he's got any insight in that phasing and how that trail connection would be made, because it would be awkward for the trail to be through the park of outlet W. Pedestrian connections would be there because so we may ask him a little bit.
Okay.
It's probably a good question.
Okay.
And then do you know their timing on when they want to start?
I do not,
Okay.
off the top of my head.
All right, any other questions? If not? For motion.
Dean, do you
Or
wanna
you want to, Dean, come up? Yeah, Dean, you want to come up and answer a few of those?
Thank you, Your Honorable Mayor, members of the council. Dean Roger with CDA. Yeah, the phasing line that you see there, we're fine with including the park, and they do plan to start in spring of this coming year, so it is something they plan to do soon. The sidewalk, the trail connection across Streetlight A, I guess, or that connection would cross a future street that won't be built yet, so we'd prefer not to construct the trail all the way through to the school with the first phase. It's something that could be done, but you'd have an expense to build a trail across the street and then have to tear it out and put it back in the future when you're on the utilities, so we prefer not to do it.
No, I guess I don't think I was necessarily asking for that. I just want to make sure that there's some connection. Because right now, none of the kids really can walk to that school, and so I'm excited to see, except directly to the south. So I'm excited to see housing close to the school where kids can walk and then get into the school safely. But I see where you're coming from on the phase 2. But all the other stuff, I agree with Christy, though.
Okay. Was there any other questions of me, I guess? While I'm up here.
All right, thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
I'll move approval of Council Letter 6918.
Okay, motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Thank you.
That item passes. Thank you, Christie. Moving on then to item, or regular agenda items on section 9, and be item 9.1, the 2022-23 Art Park Exhibition Selections. And introducing this is our Parks and Rec Director, Jan Herkey. Jan?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This is our annual request for the Art Park exhibition, our 4 sculptures to the south of City Hall. We went through the similar process that we have the last, I just realized it's the 10th year, 2013, that we opened the Art Park, so maybe we have to do something special. I do want to recognize that the new council member, Amy Croll, was on the Public Art Committee, and Blake Rosendahl is here, and he also serves in the Public Art Committee. So they were part of this process. We had 20 applications for the Art Park. The Public Art Committee reviewed all 20 of those, and the top 4 are before you tonight. The first one is called Concentric by artist Tim Adams, and Tim has been on display before, and we've purchased, I believe, 2 of his sculptures in the past. The second sculpture is by Hildy de Bruin. She has also been an artist here in our art park, and Shifting Gear is the title of that piece of art. Exuberant by Craig Snyder. It's the third piece, and then Cactus Dog by Stephen Make, and Stephen is a new artist to our process. So these are the 4 sculptures that are being recommended. Again, there's a $1,500 stipend that we pay the artists for essentially having their piece on display for a year. So the current sculptures would be removed, and the artists would come and pick those up by the end of March, and then the first week of April, we have the new sculptures installed. So be happy to answer any questions.
Jan, I was just wondering, over the 10 years, has anybody bought any of them other than the city?
No. The gas can was closed. No. I think that over 10 years has been the most talked about piece of art, but no, none of the others have been purchased.
I find that kind of amazing, but.
Yeah. And we do, just for your information, we post this information, essentially what you see here, we post it on the website. We also have the app called AutoCast, where there's a interview. It's an app you can put on your phone, and it's an interview from the actual artist and the information and the concept here on the sculpture. So they do have some opportunity, and we have a lot of artists. Obviously, this year's a little bit lower. Last year we had 36 sculptures to choose from. So it's a process that they can get some recognition as well.
Are any of the artists local?
Hildy is from West Des Moines, Hildy de Bruin. Tim Adams is from Mason City, I believe.
Well, I think they're all beautiful, and the Public Art Committee did a great job. I imagine that it was a hard job picking a top 4 with so many applicants, but I'm glad we get such a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So is that a motion?
It is. With that, I will move Council Letter 6914.
Motion by Carmen Montgomery.
I'll second.
Second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call?
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
That passes. Thank you. Item 9.2 then is to consider the purchase of public art. Jan?
And through the process of when we have new sculptures and in reviewing the ones that are currently on exhibition, we have the opportunity to consider the purchase of those. Again, the city gets a 25% discount per se on any of the pieces and the value of the piece. The Public Art Committee recommend purchasing one of the pieces that are out on the exhibition now, and that's Sweet Pops of Brilliance by Craig Snyder. And that piece, after the city's 25% discount, is $6,300. And we're proposing to install this at Ashleaf Park. And the Public Art Committee had a discussion of, certainly we've had art that isn't just the 4 that are annually on display. and also considering where the funding comes from for the CIP process is through Parks Projects, Main Arterial City Facilities. So we discussed the projects in the past 2 years, and obviously our large shelter in the Walnut Creek Regional Park is a significant project for us. We talked about a sculpture that would be appropriate at that site. We have purchased bronze sculptures through Bronzeman Company before, a few of them that are located at Dunlop Park and Arboretum, and they are great to work with. The cost actually originally was $15,000 and some dollars, and after discussion with them, we got it down to $12,000, including shipping, which was $900. So kind of the, if you accept it, we'll be ready to purchase opportunity. So anyway, this would be $12,000, and again, that does include shipping. And this would be, it's called Five Kids in a Tree. Obviously, you can see the reason why, and we would place this by the large shelter at the regional park. So the funding, again, for these two sculptures would be from that funding earmarked in the CIP for public art. Be happy to answer any questions.
Well, since my house borders on Ashleaf Park, I'm very excited. I think it's great that these are being put into different parks.
Yep. Was that a motion?
It was a motion.
Motion by Pogge,
I'll second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
That item passes. Thank you. Item 9.3 is to consider the software as a service agreement with Tyler Technologies, and Nikki's not here, but she's somewhere in the cloud that would answer any questions if there are any. John, is there a motion?
I'll move approval of Council Letter 6923.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, roll call.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Pogge,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
That item passes. Item 9.4 is to consider the letter of agreement between the Des Moines Airport Authority and the City of Urbandale. AJ?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. At the November 9th Lunch and Learn, you received a presentation from Mr. Brian Mulcahy who is the Finance Director of the Des Moines Airport Authority concerning an opportunity for metro-based cities as well as central Iowa counties to consider participating in a funding opportunity to assist the airport authority in leveraging state dollars for the construction of a new airport terminal. Included in the council packet was the council letter outlining the project. The city's participation level, if approved by council, would be $1.331 million over a 6-year period. The funding is yet to be determined. It would be special revenue fund, hotel motel fund, other sources that would be identified annually through our budget process. But with your approval, this would commit the city to a 6-year funding commitment for this project. I think as I noted in my last week's council overview, the cities of Des Moines, West Des Moines, and Ankeny have already approved their agreements, and I know the Airport Authority has made presentation to communities and counties throughout central Iowa. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have concerning this proposal and the city's commitment for such.
Thank you, AJ. Any questions for AJ on this item?
You know, I think it's important for us, one, to continue to collaborate with our neighbors, and two, anybody who's flown through the Des Moines Airport can definitely see we're due for a upgrade. So I think it's a great idea. And with that, I'd make a motion to approve Council Letter 6921.
Motion by Pogge on the last official action item. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, roll call.
Pogge,
Yes.
Carberry Montgomery,
Yes.
Blake,
Yes.
Russell.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Thank you. That takes us to mayor and council items. I'll start in the cloud first. Let's see, Matt, do you have anything to add tonight?
Yeah, sorry that I couldn't be there. We had a little bit of a case of the colds and the flu, not COVID, thank God, in our household. So we are struggling with that. But I do want to say, briefly, because this is the last meeting, I do want to say a big thank you to Ron and Dave for your many, many, many years of service between the two of you. It's no small thing to have raise your hand in a community, spend hours and hours and hours of your time in dedication to it, and being in the public eye that long. But each of you made an impact on this community, and I have had the honor of serving with you. So thank you both for your service to Urbandale, for the opportunity to serve with you. And even though we've had our differences from time to time, I really enjoyed my time serving with you. So thank you very much, both of you.
All right. Thank you, Matt. David, you're up next.
I would echo those comments and thank you, Matt. I leave the council knowing that it's in good hands and good leadership. We have a great staff, as I've talked about before, and the best days of Urbandale lie ahead of us. So I wish you all a good, happy new year and a safe new year. And I'll see you back in the spring.
All right. Thank you, David. Bridget, I'm going to let you go next. I'm going to give Ron the last word.
Well, I will continue the thanks parade here and thank Ron and Dave for many years of service on the city council and through our boards and commissions and our soccer clubs and you name it. You both have been involved with it, and you are leaving Urbandale better than you found it. And it's been a pleasure to serve with you the last 2 years. And I also wanted to congratulate my incoming council members on their swearing in tonight. And I look forward to begin serving with you. A couple of little items to note. We were talking about Waukee schools tonight, and the Waukee Joint Marching Band, Waukee Warrior Brigade, and the Northwest, I don't know, marching something, is unit number 54 in the Rose Parade on Saturday morning. So if you're up and watching that or watching the replay, please keep an eye out for many Urbandale kids in the Rose Parade. They arrived yesterday and are having the time of their life. So I hope for their enjoyment and safety. And I also, due to holidays, had not come east for a week or so at least. And there's all sorts of action at 142nd and Douglas. The Timberline Village is lit up now in the retention area. I think that looks fantastic. And townhouses on the south side there, and something's going on with the Hy-Vee area too. So that makes me really happy to see all that going in there. So that's my end of the year summary. But many, many thanks to you, Ron, and Dave. Unfortunately, you didn't follow our specific directions to send take the meeting in the pool with your name tag. So, and AJ thanks you for that, though. So, thank you.
I was able to have the name tag here, so I'd make it official. But it's a little rainy outside.
What? Okay.
He's got it. He's got the name tag, but he's inside.
Okay. Well, Ron, you get almost the last word. I guess I get the last word, but you get the almost last word.
Well, I've said all this before, but I don't think it can be said enough. And I want to thank my family for putting up with this for 16 years. Just eliminate every other Tuesday. So I think that's important. I want to thank Urbandale for letting me serve. Everybody wants to serve and wants to step up, but the voters get to choose. Hopefully they will continue. I've served with a lot of different council members over the years, and there isn't one who I thought was in this for any purpose other than serving Urbandale. And I think that says a lot about our community. I want to thank the staff for making us look good, sometimes despite our best efforts. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank the remaining members that I have served with. I've enjoyed it. Good luck to the new people coming in. And my one word of advice is as you're working and you're reading all this material and everything else, remember, step back sometimes, just enjoy it. I mean, you know, you get to do things that are going to help your community. So try to remember that as you go through. And with that, I'll sign off.
All right, thank you, Ron. I'll go through my items. I just want to, again, reiterate and echo the comments I already made to both Dave and Ron. Thank you both for your tremendous service over the years. You know, as we said at Ron's ceremony earlier this year, Ron's been on the council for as long as I've been mayor. So, you know, Ron's been here at my side. So you've had many council members, but only one mayor.
Only one mayor during the whole time.
I appreciate all your service and your wise counsel through the years, Ron and Dave. As we said, thank you again for all your service, both on council, but on the numerous boards and commissions you've done throughout the years. So, you know, as Matt said, it takes a lot to raise your hand and to contribute hours and hours of time that you've done. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that both of you have done over the years. So, and welcome Amy and Larry. And our next meeting, we'll welcome you to the dais. And I've made the seating arrangements, and Nicole will disclose those at the beginning of the year. So that's one of my prerogatives as mayor is making the seating arrangements. So with that, everyone have a happy and healthy new year. I wish you all the best, and I'll ask for a motion in a second to adjourn. Ron, do you want to adjourn the meeting?
I will certainly make a motion to adjourn.
Dave, do you want to say?
And I will second.
All right.
And I will second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
Aye.
You're opposed?
Hopefully not. I'll take that as a time lag.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Have a happy new year.
All right.